As we finish the practice, let us resolve to try and keep this level of awareness in our lives. And if you are like to conclude with a dedicatory wish for well-being for yourself and others, you may do so at this point. When you are ready, you can gently open your eyes. And this concludes the meditation. Good morning. So, how different do you find this from the normal, just focusing on breath? Do you find any difference?
Much easier to be lost in thought. It's very helpful for me because the mind seems to be core working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
going to that.
Yeah. To me personally, I find this harder to do because you have to work very hard. You have to spy your own world of thoughts. You have to be aware of what is going on with your mind. So it's like two minds working. Thank you, Anthony. Working at the same time. So it's very difficult. But in terms of benefit, I think this is much more beneficial in the sense that you are observing all that is happening in your mind. When we focus on our breath, we are just trying to rest on that particular object. Whereas when you observe what's going on in your mind, then we should be able to notice that there are, first of all, series of thoughts. And these are all moments of thoughts. One moment of thought arises, and then it goes. It comes and goes, it comes and goes. Old one is replaced by new one. So when you observe this, when you become aware of this, this is to help us gain insight into the impermanent nature of things. That's one of the key concepts in Buddhism, impermanent. So we get into trouble because of unable to really have this conviction. We develop attachment. We cling to things because of not realizing the impermanent nature of things. We see or perceive things as permanent. Am I too soft? Too soft, is it? Maybe I should use the mic. Yeah, so that's one thing. So that is supposed to engender the insight into impermanent nature of things. And then other thing is to help us also realize the inherent nature of things, especially the selflessness nature. When we observe our thoughts, in our mind we say, oh, I'm getting angry, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling pain, I have this sensation, I'm feeling this way. So we say all this, but when you really what you are seeing is series of sensations, moment of thoughts. There isn't any inherent thing. It's just these series of moments of thoughts or sensations that we, label as I. I am feeling this, I am feeling that. So when you really analyze that, when you try to pinpoint, there is no I there. It's just a label given to these various sensations. So from this, we are supposed to get some understanding that, there is no such thing as I. And then it says that when you really observe, another thing is when you observe your thoughts, it comes and go, it comes and go. And also you notice that these are just aspects or part of your thoughts. So there is not really, let's say anger arises or any negative thought arises. So these comes and go. So these show that these are not permanent. These are not inherently there. These are not nature of our mind. If it is nature of our mind, if it is permanent, then it remains there. You cannot say it will just be there. But it comes and goes. So that we should get encouragement that, these are not inherently there. These are not the nature of our mind. So therefore, these can be eradicated. These can be removed. These can be peeled away so that we can get to the essence of mind. But then question is there a real essence of mind?
For me, the great difficulty is staying mindful. And the question is, what is it that thoughts come up and distract me? That's still my mind, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it's your mind. It's because it's your mind, you have control over it. If it is somebody else's mind, you may not have control over it.
But it seems like I don't have control over it.
Yeah, at the moment we feel that way because we have been habituated in that for so long. So remember, I always give this example. When you change your job or when you move to a new place, the first few weeks, you have to be very conscious. I have to take this turn, I shouldn't miss this. And then after 3-4 weeks, you just try. Because you are habituated in that way. It becomes a habit. It becomes your second nature. You don't have to consciously put effort. So at the moment, that's the problem. We have taken so many countless lives in the past, and we are so habituated in these negative thoughts. That's why it's so easy for these to arise. Whereas the virtuous mind or the positive thoughts is so hard. Even we put effort, it's difficult because we are not used to it. But if we put effort, so as the meditation ends with that, we will resolved to be mindful. So that's the key. So when we do this kind of meditation, we become aware of all these various thoughts coming. And then when we get out of the meditation, we are supposed to do the same. Just monitor our thoughts. First of all, you need the mindfulness. Today I will be mindful. I will make sure that I don't engage in negative thoughts. I will try my best to generate as much positive thought as possible. That's mindfulness. So you have made that resolved, and you have to remember that. And then the mind, that is what you call the introspective awareness comes in. Then you have to watch, you have to spy your own mind. This morning, I have taken this pledge or resolve. Am I really following that through? Then every now and then, watch your mind. Watch your thought. And then comes the conscientiousness. When you realize that, your mind is going the wrong direction, so you stir it, you redirect your mind. That's the work of conscientiousness. So these three things so important. If you are able to work with these three, your daily lives, you will be quite free from committing negative actions. At the moment, either we lack all of this, or we lack one of this. First of all, sometimes we don't even remember to be positive or to generate or to refrain ourselves from negative thoughts. There's no mindfulness at all. And then even if we have this one, we fail to spy on our mind, whether we are really following or not. Then even if we have that too, we fail to apply the antidote. Even though we see that, we are going this way, let me just go this way. I'm driving towards the edge of the road, let me still go ahead. Normally you will stir, isn't it? But that's what happens.
So that's interesting, because to start with, you don't judge anything that comes up, but then it does sound like if a negative thing comes up, I want to not be angry with myself, redirect it. That seems almost a contradiction.
Yeah, so when you are doing meditation, it's okay. You are just observing. But in real life, that is not enough. Just let's say a negative mind comes up, let's say I want to kill this guy, and this comes up, it's okay, I go ahead. Conscientiousness comes in. Okay, this is not right. I shouldn't do that. That's the work of.
But then even during meditation, if I want to kill that tree over there, and I'm thinking about, I'm going to dig it up.
Because in the meditation, what is our purpose here? We just want to observe all these various thoughts. We want to be aware, and we want to really see whether that mind, that's why it says the luminous nature of mind. We want to connect to that one. So all these are on the surface. We are trying to get. If we are so engrossed in trying to fix that first surface, that you will never get to the bottom. Yeah. So different purpose. So of course I don't know much about Dzogchen. You may know about Dzogchen. So these are Dzogchen teaching is morely just observing your mind and getting able to connect to the primordial or whatever that mind is. Yeah, but I don't know enough to say anything about. But I don't really like that aspect. That's because I don't know enough. Because it's like you don't have to do anything. You just watch your mind. That's okay. So that may not be the case. I am not understanding correctly. But if that is the case, then that doesn't really help us, isn't it? So before I forget, so we have another class next week, isn't it? And then we have the summer break. June is normally summer break. So today is the first day of Sagadawa. And next class, fortunately, it coincides with the 15th, that peak of Sagadawa. So instead of having normal like this class, I thought to do some prayer sessions. We will do Lama Choba Tsok offering, and we will recite some praises of Buddha. So that's the plan. So if you are interested to join, you are welcome. And we have Lama Chopa text in English with Tibetan phonetics, so I will make few copies. And then if you wish to bring some offerings, flowers or any food or whatever is for the talk. Normally we buy fruits, we buy kind of candies or whatever it is as part of talk offering. So you are welcome to bring those as well. That's on the 31st May. So with that, and then one thing, if you are not following Drupa Monastery DMOD on Facebook, please try to follow if you are a Facebook user, because we normally tend to post many things on Facebook because it's kind of a nuisance to every time send an email, go to the MailChimp and then send. It's faster and easier to post on the Facebook. So some of you are already on the Facebook following, so you will get updates faster if there are any changes. Okay, Ken? It's okay. If you are not on Facebook, I don't blame you. It's okay. But if you are on Facebook, then it's just following. Yeah. Yeah. It's easier. Easy access. Easy for us to post and easy for you to access. Okay, so now let's get into our So anyway, you have anything to share? Usual time? 10? 10 to 12? Yeah, we will have plenty of time for 2 hours. 2 hours is good time, yeah. So, we had kind of a long break. So were there any chance or occasions where you are able to apply anything from the class? Or even like, that is what Shantideva says or something, anything to share? If you have something to share, we would love to hear. If not, we will. $165.
I got angry at my cat.
Okay.
And then I stopped and I thought, well, why am I angry? I can't control the cat from being a cat. So I think that was reflective of your teachings, that mindfulness. You know, what can I really do?
Yeah. Yeah, that itself is just having that realization itself, I always say, is a huge progress. Yeah, most of the time we don't even realize that. We just take it as part of life. Oh, I get angry, it's okay. It's like, and then we start to, it's not good. Why am I getting angry? So just having that thought itself is a good progress. Remember the Lama Yeshe's one? I think I mentioned this. Lama Yeshe, he had during one of his class. So one of the student was asking questions, and he was saying, I have studied Lamrim for how many years? So Lama Yeshe says, good. And then I have done this retreat, good. And then he said, I have done this, very good. He says, and then I realized that I have there's no realization at all. And to that, Lama said, very good. So this is, you see, just realizing that is already a progress. Okay, where are we? We are on verse 165. Yeah, we covered this, isn't it? We covered this one, we covered. In brief, for the sake of living creatures, may all the harms I have selfishly caused to others descend upon me myself. So we have talked about this one. So this is now kind of a summary in terms of applying actual application of what we have discussed earlier. Dorna dagi tuangi chir kyugi shenla nyo che kang, nyo de simjen tuangi chir tanyi la ni pabar jis. So first here we have to realize that whatever harms or disappointments or anything that is undesirable befall us, we should not blame others. That's very hard. I have met people who complain about this and that, and they feel that it is so unfair, injustice, that I was treated this way. I was given this kind of harm. But if we are a real Buddhist, we shouldn't feel that way. No matter how strong or how powerful it appears to be so unfair and unjust. But when it comes to karma, there is nothing that is unjust, isn't it? Unfair. Karma is always fair. Why we have this kind of feeling is that we are only looking this from this life's point of view. It's like, in this life, I have been so good to him. I have been so kind to him. How could he do this to me? But then when we kind of step back and look and take into account all the past lives that we have taken and the things that we might have done in the past, then it's like, oh, okay, I cannot really blame the other person. It is all because of me. And why this is happening, either in this life or in the past, whatever negative karma I have done, it is all because of this selfish attitude, this me-first attitude. Instead of cherishing others, instead of putting others' concern before me, I have always placed myself at the top. Because of that, I am now suffering. May all the harms I have selfishly caused to others. In the past I have done this, so now whatever I have, even the harms that I've caused to others, is like I'm ready to take upon myself. It's very hard to digest, isn't it? Not only blame others for our problems, but also to saying that I will take upon yours. Give me all your problems. That's not easy.
So Shinji is basically saying he accepts his karma.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's going to happen anyway.
yeah, yeah.
But does by saying this or thinking this, does it help it come faster?
So these are, our tendency is that when such thing happens, we point our fingers.
Oh.
So when we reflect on this and this, it is me, I have done this thing. So when situation arises, we are not so quick to point fingers. it comes back to all. So you see how you interact with that person changes completely. Even in relationships, this helps. Dini nyata gyurtsudu sheki pani mijade pamasarbe tsuishindu ngozan jigdan tamde shaaks. I should not be dominating and aggressive, acting in a self-righteous, arrogant way. Instead, like a newly married bride, I should be bashful, timid, and restrained. So now when you go in the whole real world, because you have generated all this mindset, you have gone through exchanging oneself with others, you are now putting others' concern over yours. So how should we behave? How should we conduct ourselves? So it says, I should not be dominating and aggressive because of this selfish attitude. Acting in a self-righteous, arrogant way. I should not do all this, but how I should behave is instead like a newly married bride. So this is in Indian context. So in India, arranged marriage is very common. So you are meeting your husband for the first time when you are getting married. So it says that at the wedding, when they are newly married bride, they will be very careful. It's like when you are dating somebody, isn't it? You know better. When you are dating for the first time, you will contrive your conduct, isn't it? You won't be so forthcoming. Even though you are like that, you pretend to be so nice, so kind, so considerate, And then as you become more and more friendly, and then your true nature, true color comes out. So he's saying that when we are dealing with that, even though we have this selfish and all these things, so we have to behave like a newly married bride. Always play low, always considerate. So how the reason or how we should go about this is that understanding the detrimental consequences of selfish attitude. If I act out of selfishness, then there are these consequences. So therefore, since I don't want to experience these consequences, so I should be more conscientious. I should not do this, I should not behave in this way, and instead I should conduct myself in this particular way. So given these reasons, we should behave in this particular way. Teja, Teja Tedara Ne Chashing. Okay. Teja Tedara Ne Chashing, Tedara Kyugi Mejawa, Tedaran Dini Wang Chade, Telendena Sarche Chas. Thus, O mind, you should think and abide in this way. You should think that in the way that it was discussed before, and not only think but also abide in this way, and not act selfishly as before. If under the control of self-cherishing you transgress this code, your selfishness will be your end. This should, instead of saying that your selfish will be your end, it should read more like, if you transgress, bring it to an end, put a stop to it. It's not that it will be your end. It's like, put a stop to it. You should be subjugated or subdued in this way if you disobey. That's another. So basically, this is kind of a summarizing that whatever we have discussed before, so we should think, mentally engage in this particular way, and also our conduct should be according to that attitude. It says, we should not let our mind or act like an elephant that is not controlled by the, what you call that, stake, is it? That, what do you call that? Hook or, metal hook or stake, whatever you call that. So how the elephant is trained is using this one. So we should always have that. Remember earlier in one of the stanza, the analogy is that wild elephant. Do you remember the wild elephant? The destruction, the comparison made between the destruction caused by wild elephant versus our mind. Do you remember that? What is that difference? What is the difference? No, the destruction caused by wild elephant versus your selfish mind. Yeah, so what is the difference?
What's the difference between
the destruction caused by a wild elephant, and our mind, our wild mind. So on the one hand, the wild elephant can cause so much destruction. On the other hand, we have our wild mind, selfish mind. So this can cause so much destruction. Our mind can cause so much destruction. But which is heavier?
the object of the subject?
Huh?
The object of the subject that control?
It's very profound. Anthony's answer is yeah. Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? Wild elephant can cause so much destruction, but it only limited to worldly things. It may destroy your house, and even the worst, it can kill you. It will end this life. That's all. It cannot bring you to lower realms. Whereas this mind, the selfish attitude, not only it will destroy our peace and happiness in this very life, it can drag you to lower realms. It will hinder our progress into Dharma practice and eventually thwarting us from achieving liberation and enlightenment. So they're saying that we should not let our mind like a wild elephant. since we have already decided, pledge to fight or counter our selfish attitude, so we should do so. If you translate with your introspective awareness, we should watch whether we are following that mindset, that determination, that resolve. And if we find ourselves transgressing, then we should apply antidote accordingly and put an end to this selfish attitude. When they tether tam yang nis, sim kyu tether mijina, kyula nyeba kun tembe, kyuni sarje chawar says. So this is, so until now, it is like telling ourselves, so this is like two separate persons. Actually, it's you, but you are talking to yourself in a very peaceful, soft way. So you shouldn't do this, you should do this. And now is a since even then it doesn't listen to you, then is we should be a bit more aggressive, more, what do you call, more wrathful, yeah. It says, when the tether tam janis, however mind, although you have been advised, if you do not act in a like manner, then since all misfortunes will entrust themselves to you, you will only be destined to destruction. So some of the translation, I don't know whether it is to the point. So now, applying, it's becoming a bit more aggressive. So this is, so when you find yourself working for your own benefit, then we should do this.
One thing that I notice is that as much as I try, these kinds of thoughts come up, anger, all the rest of it. And, I can't stop them from coming up. All I can really do is control my actions in the face of those things, which is very, very difficult. And that really is the practice, because you can't, well, at least, unless you're a very realized person, you don't have much control over your thoughts. And all sorts of conditioned things come up. I recognize some emotions and reactions that I have to things as being ways I've acted in the world my entire life. But I notice as time goes on, I'm more and more able to recognize and acknowledge those things and not respond or react. And to me, that's the key, because in time, when I do that, I become less controlling and less powerful, and gradually subside. When you rise, they're easier and easier to control.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And as I mentioned before, like 10 years ago or maybe 20 years ago, before you encounter Dharma, or you haven't heard about these teachings, anger is like, we treat this like part of our life. It's like just an emotion. Sometimes we feel that I have the right to be angry, and we don't see it as a fault. And I told you that in the West, it is very difficult. Even in they're trying to bring this social emotional learning courses, and they have difficulty saying that anger is wrong, anger is negative, anger is bad. Because here is that you cannot say that. And we are like, why not? It is wrong. But I said, no. If you say that anger is wrong, then whoever gets angry is like you are not a good person. So there is, too much, carefulness. Yeah. So, but of course, we have encountered Dharma, so we know that. And as I mentioned, like 20 years ago, many of you think that getting angry is okay. Sometimes you feel that anger is good. I will get my way. But really, it comes with more consequences. You may get this time, but you may lose, at the time you may lose so many friends. You will get what you wanted at that time, that specific thing. But in the future, nobody wants to deal with you. Yeah. So just having this realization that anger is not, you can see, it's not just what the text says. From your own experience, when we get angry, our judgment is clouded. That's why there's regret. If anger is so good, why would we have regret after the episode? We thought, I shouldn't have said this. Remember, even we apologize to somebody, I'm so sorry, I was taken over by my anger. You blame the anger. That's why I find it very funny. When we apologize to somebody, we blame our anger. It was not me. It was my anger that made me do that. But when somebody says something, does something, it's you. It's not your anger. If we are being fair, then as we blame our anger for our mistakes, we should be able to blame their anger for their mistakes. That's why it always says that the Lojong teaching says that you should get angry at the anger, not at the person. Even in Christianity, there's something called you should, what's that, sin and sinner? Fight the sin. Fight not the sinner, but the sin. Same. So it's good. It's common. We all lose mind. But the difference is that those who are conscious of this, we regret, we feel bad. I shouldn't have lost my cool. Then you shouldn't stop there. Okay, next time, I will really try not to be overwhelmed by anger. So if you do that repeatedly, of course you will fail for so long. But there will come a time where I told you about my own experience. Remember I told you about the debating thing. For the first time I realized that I have anger issue. I couldn't sleep that night because that incident kept playing in my mind. I felt so humiliated, so embarrassed. And then I tried, but I still get angry, but it's not like that. Sometimes I feel it. It's coming up. I see anger rising. Earlier, like that. Let's say if I have a very irritating conversation, boom. But now at least, okay, it's coming up. So this will happen. And then if you are more diligent, so they will come and say, hey, Ken is a different person now. Who is this? I don't recognize this guy. Okay, just a comment. Good sound. Okay, Anthony. This is Ken's duty, actually. Yeah, he abdicated relinquishes his duty. I forgot to mention one main point, so which there's a very beautiful verse which His Holiness recites all the time. So in Tibetan it goes like this. Kina dewa choso ngo pende namga kangwa sho. Duna dunye kur dunye jazu kembar shos. So in Tibet, in English, it translates into this. When I'm happy, may my merit flow to others. May joy and benefit fill the sky. When I'm unhappy, may the suffering of all beings befall me. May the ocean of sufferings run dry. So this is the formula to live a very happy life. We are in samsara. We are under the control of our own karma and afflictions, delusions. We are bound to encounter suffering. This is our existence. So, how can we still lead a happy life? So this is the formula. So it says, when I'm happy, may my merit flow to others. So when good thing happens, when you are happy, let's say when you get a promotion, when you become rich and famous and all these things, instead of becoming arrogant, starting to look down on others, filled with pride and all that, instead of doing this way, dedicate your merit. I am happy and all these good things are happening to me because of my good merits. So may all these merits go to others. May all experience same kind of joy and happiness that I'm experiencing. So that's why it says, may joy and benefit fill the sky. So when all sentient beings are happy and joyous, of course, it is like filling up the sky with joy and happiness. So this is when good things happens to you. Instead of feeling what you call bloated with pride and all that, just dedicate your merits. Just send out all these good things to others. Then it will curb all this, arrogance. Because of arrogance, then we tend to do many negative things. And then when I am unhappy, may the suffering of all beings befall me. So when sufferings befall us, and for us most of the time, suffering is the regular one. When this happens, instead of feeling so depressed and feeling low, say, hey, since I'm already experienced this, let me take upon others. There may be people who may experience this kind of suffering. Since I'm already experiencing, let everything experience on me. And may this, my suffering, substitute for the beings who are going to suffer in the future. So this gives us, instead of feeling depressed and lose confidence, it gives us confidence. And then you will also find meaning in your suffering. May the ocean of sufferings run dry. So if you are able to take upon all the sufferings of all the sentient beings, of course, it will end the sufferings of the world. So this is the way His Holiness says that, to have a happy life. So if you are looking for a formula, happiness formula, there is no plus, minus, or this thing, this is the one. Just one stanza or 4 lines. So if we are able to do that, we can tell that there's no reason not to have a happy life. Because the 2 things we are going to experience, happiness, good things, or bad things. So each one you have a particular approach. So when you apply this, adopt these approaches, definitely you will be happy. And then, I don't know whether you remember this or not, there are what is called the 4 approaches in Lojong practices. When suffering happens, how we should perceive this is that, happiness and suffering do not arise without cause. It arises from causes. Not only it arises from causes and conditions, but also from concordant causes and conditions. Causes and conditions that corresponds with the result. So, if I'm experiencing suffering, that means I must have created negative karma in the past. So we have been making requests to the merit field, to our gurus, to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So now, this is a signal, this is a message, this is an exhortation or urge from these merit fields that, hey, if you don't want to experience suffering, stop committing negative karma. Stop committing the causes and conditions that give rise to suffering. And also when we desire for happiness, and when that doesn't happen, also the same way, happiness comes from virtuous actions. So take this as a signal from your merit field that since you need this, it's time to do merit. The reason why you are not having happiness or experiencing happiness is because you have not cultivated enough causes and conditions. So it is the time. You see how wonderful it is. We pray, we make requests, but we fail to get the message. So when such things happens, when you look at this is way. And then it says that if you are doing protector pujas, then offer torma and ritual, whatever it is, it says that, let me have more of this to exhaust my karma. At the same time, help me, facilitate me to refrain from committing negative actions and engaging in virtuous actions, so that I will have happiness and not encounter suffering. So these are the requests that we make. So I think this is what we can take away from all this. Then, as His Holiness says, that we will be happy. Not only happy, our lives will be richer, more meaningful, because when you have that kind of attitude, you are bound to be more generous, more empathetic, kinder to others, more compassion to others. And that will automatically get more help, more friends. Everybody will like you. Who doesn't like to be liked by others? And that, with that kind of attitude, that kind of personality, wherever you go, whether in your home, at your home, or workplace, everybody welcome you. And then you are like, I want to go back to work. There is no sense of dreading. It's like if there's a place that we love and if people love you, of course we like to go there. Whereas if you behave selfishly all the time, always trying to how to get even with that person, how to get on, before that person, how to get more benefit, more things compared to others. If you have this kind of sense of this competitiveness, remember we talked about three different attitudes? To your superior, we have this tendency to feel jealous. To your equals, we have tendency to compete, this competitiveness. And then to your inferior, we have this tendency to deride and look down, treat them like trash. So all this, if we engage in this all the time, and then on the other hand, you seek happiness, it's not going to happen. So now we are on to Kyoji Kobyo Karlakbe Wenji Tude Shen Yinde Nge Tong Nga Kyo Kangdu Draws. So here you see the image is a donkey pretending to be a lion. So he said that previous time when you could overcome me is now past. Because he says that, oh, I won't be able to fight back this selfish attitude. So he is saying that you can, because now you are equipped with more power and strength. Because now you know the true nature of this selfish attitude, this self-cherishing attitude. It will portray as your friend, as if it is really benefiting you. But actually it is not. It is destroying you and your happiness. So now that you have seen the true color of that self-attitude, your selfish attitude, now you are empowered. You have more strength. So that previous time when you could overcome me is now past. You can have no power over me. Now I see your nature and your faults. If I follow you, if I listen to you, I know that long run, I will be in trouble. So whenever you go, I shall destroy your arrogance. So this is like you are talking to this self-cherishing attitude. So even though it's yours, but as if talking to another person. I should immediately cast aside all thoughts to work for my own sake. So this self-cherishing attitude is the one that propels you to only work for yourself. You are the most important thing. Everything comes after that, secondary. Your goal is priority. So whenever such thought arises, I should immediately cast aside all that kind of thought, which propels me to work for my own sake. Instead, I will try to generate that other attitude, which is other cherishing attitude, and work for others. It's not easy, isn't it? Especially for us, it's not easy. As I mentioned before, even Bodhisattvas, those at the beginning level, they find it difficult. But through practice, it becomes so easy. They arrive at a stage where they are even willing to give their body. No hesitation. They are happy. There is a line in one of the texts. It says that when you reach this particular meditative state, so when you sit in that meditative state, the bliss from that meditative state is so powerful, so strong. But it says when you compare that bliss to Bodhisattvas, when they hear somebody, please give me your body, their joy, their bliss will just overcome that kind of bliss derived from that kind of concentration. So imagine, first we are like, can I do that? That's like impossible. But one can reach to that level where it fills them with great bliss, Just hearing that somebody is asking for your head. And organ donors. We wish we have more bodhisattvas at that level, so there will be no shortage of organ donors, especially kidney. Kidney you can still function even after giving one, isn't it? Anybody? Kidney donors? But it's important. Every time we feel that, oh, that's not impossible, we should make prayers. That, okay, at the moment, it seems impossible, but may I be able to do so in the near future. Everything starts with prayer. 다기 shenla kyo zongji gyowar masim shosha pyul. This is 다기 shenla kyo zongji gyowar masim shosha pyuls. Kede pame gyurne kyo simjen namla majina kyoji kowo nyewayi suman namla chindu nyes. So it says that why shouldn't I work for myself? Why shouldn't I engage in my selfish interests? So it says, because by having sold you to others, you have already exchanged. Remember earlier parts where we said that we're going to exchange. So from now on, we are cherishing others more than ourselves. We are treating ourselves like others that we used to treat. We used to abandon, we used to ignore others. Now it is us. We will do so, but we will cherish others. So it's the reason why we should not engage in selfish interests is because that we have already sold you, means we have already exchanged, engaged in this exchange, sold you to others. I shall not become discouraged, but shall offer of all your strength to others. So instead of being discouraged, I will generate strength, empower myself in working for others. If having become unconscientious, somehow if we stray from that attitude or that contact, I do not give you to all living beings. That means if I don't work for all sentient beings, and instead if I work only for myself, then it is certain that you will deliver me to the guardians of the hells. Because now you are being selfish, so you are only interested in your welfare. So until now, how many in the past lives we have done that, and where did it got us? Still in this samsara, subject to all the sufferings and pains. So if we continue doing that, then it says, it is certain that you will deliver me to the guardians of the hells. That means it will bring down to the lower realms. 다기 shenla 대다라 kyöji 레타식 코 진배 유링독 ngani kunam tenjede kyöji randun simba shoms. So it says, when did I, because we talk about, we should really this again. So when did I, if you ask when did selfish attitude got us into trouble? So it says, for ages have you dealt with me like this. It's not just this life. Life after life in the past. You have dealt with me like this, and I have suffered long. So why we are here in samsara is all because of that self-attitude. But now, recalling all my grudges, I shall overcome your selfish thoughts. So I have an image of this trap. So this is how the selfish attitude is. It will lure us as if they are our best friends, isn't it? And when Shantideva was talking about the faults of negative afflictions, it says that it is worse than our enemy. Our enemies, how many? In one day, our worst enemy, how much do they spend to cause harm, cause harm to us? How many hours? Our worst enemy, our arch enemy. First of all, that arch enemy needs to sleep. So 8 hours is gone. He's not thinking about, getting even with me, with us. And then he has to go to work, isn't it? How many hours? And then he has to do all this thing. Even our worst enemy doesn't have that much time to harm us or plotting something. But whereas self-cherishing attitude is working there all the time, 24 hours, doesn't take any rest. So that's why it's saying, and enemies, we know there's enemy. And we will be always wary of that person because we anticipate some harm. But self-cherishing attitude, we give the best hospitality. We let them reside within us and serve. Give them the best hospitality. That's why it's very deceiving. That's the image to depict that. So for ages have you dealt with me like this, and I have suffered long. But now, recalling all my grudges, I shall overcome your selfish thoughts. Can we do that? If we want to hold grudge at your self-cherishing attitude. If you want to get even with anything or someone, this is self-cherishing attitude is the one that we should get even with. You can do your own experiment. So in one day you just observe whatever thoughts come, whatever you do, whether there is role of self-cherishing attitude. And then if you want to have drastic, effect, then analyze some arguments that you have, some quarrels you have. And if you analyze each one, dissect each, the exchange of words, and see whether any of that is propelled or triggered by self-cherishing attitudes. This is how we do meditation. When we do contemplation, so this is where we bring in all these examples, all these incidents to give us that conviction that yes, it is the source of our trouble. So this is our task now. But now, recalling all my grudges, I shall overcome your selfish thoughts. Tede thage gadona rangla thage garmeja. Tede thage sungdona Shenda Dadu Sumar Chas. Now, in brief, in summary, likewise, if I wish to be happy, I should not be happy with myself. So here, when I say I should not be happy with myself, means that the self-cherish attitude. We should not be so strongly attached to ourselves. And similarly, if I wish to be protected, I should constantly protect all others. So this is the gist of all that. So now from here, it's about our attachment to our body. Attachment is one of the reasons why we have problems. Chida chidar lui dini yongsu kyongwar chejuba. So in order to control our physical body, so we need to develop this kind of detachment or reduce our attachment to our body. So it says, Chida chidara luindi ni yonsu kyongwar chejuba, teta tedara shindu ni seri chenjuru nidu tungs. So we can make an argument that so this body is not only beneficial to our fulfilling our own goals, but it also helpful in helping others. So why should I neglect this? So here we are talking about neglecting doesn't mean that you just don't take care of your health. Basically reducing the attachment. Attachment is the problem. The stronger attachment you have to your bodies, more suffering you will have. That's same, isn't it? Like if you have a very expensive car, we tend to have a stronger attachment. Then what happens? We will be very careful. And we have people who, after parking their car, and then see something there, and they use their whatever cloth to wipe. This shows that such a strong. Whereas if you are driving an old car, you don't even care. And I told you that I have a friend, I know of somebody who drives this BMW, I think it's a sports version, the big one. Not the sports version, the, SUV, is it? The S-Series, is it? And when we went to one of the shops, she wouldn't park at any bay, even though it's nearer to the entrance, but must go and look for that side one. I said, why don't you park here? She said, here park, less chances of scratching by others. So you see, big car, stronger attachment, and then you have to go through these. So this was it. To whatever degree I take great care of this body, to that degree I shall fall into a state of extreme helplessness. Helplessness because the greed or the desire or the attachment has no limit. If you try to fix this, something else will come up, and you have to fix this. And we have, in this picture you see, what we do due to our attachment to our physical body. And I think I know of people, the young boys or even girls, when they reach puberty, isn't it, age, then you have this acne, is it? And then people, they're so attached, they will apply all kinds of things, and then it gets worse. And I have friends who even now have this kind of really rough face. It's all because this they try and apply all kinds of things. And then people starve themselves, isn't it? Just to have that look, that figure. Diet, go into strict dieting. It's like hungry ghosts. So hungry but cannot eat because of the fear that they will not look pretty, the body shape. And then how much we spend on cosmetics. Just a small bottle, so expensive, I was shocked. And then, of course, plastic surgery. So these they take all this unnecessary kind of trouble, isn't it? Just because of our attachment to our body. This is what it's saying. So we will be in this kind of helplessness situation. Döbe sadi tamjegis. He said that it is worth doing all this because it can fulfill your wishes. That's when he says that. Döbe sadi tamjeji zombar nuba yomena. Teyi döba sui che numen döba nyumonda samba nyamba kewar jorus. It says if these are worth embarking on this, worth undergoing or enduring these hardships because it fulfills our wishes. It says that no, having fallen in this way, if my desires are unable to be fulfilled, even by everything upon this earth, what else will be able to satisfy them? Remember there's a saying by, I think one of the philosophers, give men everything, but then men will say that everything is not enough. So that's why I have an image of an ocean. If you drink ocean water, the more you drink, the thirstier you get. It will never be able to quench the thirst. Likewise, desire is like this. The more you want, the more you get, the more you want. Remember that research on the salary. The researcher went to us. You are getting $50,000 a year for a salary. What will make you happier? They said that if I get 100,000, I will be happier. Went to the one who is already earning 100,000. What would you make me happier? Say if I get 150,000. So there is always something beyond that. So this is the fault of attachment. Even by everything upon, disturbing conceptions and the dissatisfied mind will ensue. And then when we don't get what we want, and then there will be disappointment. And if it is just disappointment, it's okay. Disappointment leads to anger, violent actions. When we get angry, it destroys our merits. It may drive us to do something illegal. Let's say murdering somebody, killing somebody, stealing somebody, robbing somebody. All this arises because of our greed, our attachment. Can you imagine this? 275,000 for this bag. I was like, wow, who pays that? We can buy a house, isn't it? A small house. Kanshi is Zobo Nuba Yumina Tayindoba Suchinusu. Kanshi Kunla Domeba Tayi Punzo Semi is. Okay, we are time. Teve Lugin Dobani Pejir Kabye Mijade. Kanshi Yung Minzeba Teningobo Sambuyins. So, but if I do not depend on any material things, the exhaustion of my good fortune will be unknown. This one also I find that this is not doesn't sound right. Kanshi kunla tömeba teye punzo semishe. So semishe means the exhaustion of my good fortune will be unknown. It's not unknown. It's like won't end. It will be bountiful. Therefore, I shall never create an opportunity for the desires to the body to increase. So here is talking about having contentment. So if I do not depend on any material things, so kunla tömeba means if I do not depend or if I don't crave, if I don't have this kind of attachment to these material things, and instead if I'm able to adopt or cultivate this sense of this contentment, then my good fortune will not end. It's more like my not good fortune will not exhaust it. The good fortune of mine will be not exhausted. It should read something like that, but this has completely different meaning. Therefore, I should never create an opportunity for the desire to the body to increase, because desire has no limits. For whatever I do not grasp as attractive, these are the best of all positions. So we talk about having this attitude. I think we talked this before. There is a very beautiful verse. It says, if you have this contentment that whatever you have is enough. Then said, then physically, del means, what do you call? Restful. And then there's joy. Mentally you are at peace. And all your tösam komsum, so understanding of Dharma, contemplation, even meditation will increase. So when we have less desire, when we have this contentment, then we don't have to work so hard. That enables to have a rest to our physical body. Because we are rested in all this and we are not tormented by all these desires, our mind will be at peace. And given this condition, we have more time to practice. Whether we want to listen to Dharma, whether we want to contemplate on Dharma topics, whether we want to do meditation, we will be able to do that because we have more time. We are not chasing after these desires. Then we don't have this fear or anxiety to really amass, to build up your wealth, and also fear of losing it, that I have to protect. We don't have fear. And like beggars or the homeless people, they sleep so soundly. And remember I told you that I have somebody who told me that first thing he does is check his bank balance, whether there has been scam or any, this bank theft happening. So that means that the person has this fear of losing their wealth, money. Homeless person sleeping on the road so soundly. So you see, if you have wealth, problem. And if you have strong attachment, even worse. If somebody who has this contentment, he says, even though the person may be poor in terms of possessions, but he says he is or she is a rich person. So that's another thing we can take away from this. So here it says, therefore I shall never create an opportunity for the desire to the body to increase. For whatever I do not grasp as attractive, so that means if we have this simplicity, in Tibetan we call it nyenyun. So if we are satisfied or content with, like even say let's meal, plain simple meal, clothing simple, plain, if we are able to be contented with that, then all that becomes attractive. These are the best of all possessions. If you have that kind of attitude, that relieve us from those unnecessary additional troubles. Okay, we should stop here. It's already 12. Okay, let's say the dedication prayer. Dagi jini sabe jawa de dendan jowa kunla kangben da jawara chizun losan tabai tembe nyingbo ringdo zeje jo jambe bawe chedara chemba da kundo sangbo tenya tishin Deda kungi jesu talob che jawa deda tamje rabdo ngo tuzon shekbe jawa tamje ngowa kanla chodo ngakba de dagi gewe zawa digun sangbo jeje rabdo ngo waragis. If you do not know how to recite this, it's okay. Just dedicate that, because we have sat in here listening to Dhamma for 2 hours, we have definitely accumulated some virtuous mind, some merit. So dedicate that to become Buddha or enlightened being for the sake of liberating other sentient beings. So we are dedicating our merits to become the causes and conditions to become Buddha, so that we can liberate others from their pain and suffering. So that's the gist of it. Okay. So we have a lunch offered by the family. So we will